Boards, games, board games. We're still going to play board games, even after Tabletop Scotland went away. I have been playing board games on the train. I've been not playing board games in the rain because I don't like to sit outside in the rain. I'm not saying that it causes me any pain, but I might as well do things that cause me more joy. Board games, board games. That's the thing I employ to give me joy. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It's 10 a.m.ish UK time, and I am Bez. Time for another Bezzy Beats and Board Game Blether. And today is the second, it's not really a debrief. Tabletop Scotland is over. I talked about it yesterday. I think I pretty much said all I wanted to say, but it was a fantastic show, and I'll definitely be there next year. And the main question now is, what do we do now it's over? How can we make sure that we continue to spark joy in our lives, foster those connections, enjoy games? I mean, maybe we don't have so many opportunities to play games anymore. Maybe if you're a publisher and you are showing your stuff off to people and they were all getting excited, now you go away and you don't see anyone being excited about it anymore, and you're like, do I even matter? Like, maybe, like, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm a big fish in a little pond, in a tiny hobbyist. People who actually go to conventions in the UK will probably know me if you have been regularly going to conventions for the past 5 years. And it's lovely. I get to go to conventions, and then people say, oh, hello, what have you got that's new? And I get to say, oh, wow, check out all this stuff that's new. And then they're excited, and then they play, or I invite new people over, and then they sit down and they play and they enjoy the games. And that's just a wonderful feeling. But then I go back to reality, and it's like, yeah, I'm out of that tiny pond. Like, that tiny pond was like not a thimble full of glass, and really I'm like a microorganism. And now I go into the sea and I'm just, whoa. You get what I mean, though? I hope the analogy makes sense. Anyway, let's talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights, what have I been up to? Actually, I really should have put photos on Twitter. That was not great of me. I played 2 games yesterday, which, yeah, I played 2 games that were completely new to me, which is more than I've played in a wee while. I mean, I played a lot of my own games, but not so much other people's. So yesterday, firstly, I played Snapshot, and this is a game about rolling dice, hoping to roll over a certain number to get into an area, and then hoping to roll a certain total to be able to take a photograph of an animal. If you manage to do it, then you get that animal card as a prize. And all of the cards are beautiful photographs, and they've got little bits of information about their lifespan, the type of food they eat, the type of animal they are, and where they are on the food chain. And in all of these elements, we've got secret objectives. You might be looking for 1 of 2 specific animals, and you'll also be looking for specific types of things that go up in triangular scoring. Finally, there's another way to score. Well, 2 more ways to score. Firstly, each animal that you take a photograph of has a specific points value. Some that have lower numbers that you have to total up might be worth 2 points. Some might even be worth 4 points. But most importantly, more excitingly, if you get 3 of a kind, 3 from one territory, then you get one of these achievements, and there's a bit of a race trying to say, okay, I'm going to get that before you. And then there's also 1 of each kind. And I managed to win largely because I had 6 of one kind, giving me 2 frees, and also had three others, one of each of the different kinds, and it was a really close game. I think I can't remember the final scores, but it was something like 56 and 64, something like that. Really nice game, Snapshot. The other game that I played was a brand new game, never played before, invented on my way to Glasgow from Perth. So first I played a couple of games of Mickle, which I enjoyed. I think I scored like 27, 25. Good scores, not the best ever, but solid, good scores. After going through Mickle, I played a quick game of Placeable and was like, yeah, these three-letter words, I feel like I want to move on to four-letter words. And then I started working out a brand new game where you're kind of working four-letter words this way, and then you have to arrange them this way. But that needs a bit more refining, but I think it's working well, and I will maybe share with you how that game goes maybe on Sunday when I'm back at home. Other recent highlights, being with the family, walking around, fish and chips, all of these were lovely things, and I hope that life continues to be good. Let's talk about brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? The brilliant thing for today is connections. So I think that when you're at a board game convention, there's a reason why my number one thing for yesterday was meeting people, just generally people coming over to have a demo, people coming over for a quick elbow dance. This is me, right elbow, right foot, left foot, jazz hands. That's how I greet people these days. That connection, people coming over and say, oh, there's a colouring in thing. And even though we might barely speak and won't even have any physical contact, just sitting down, colouring in something, some lines that I drew, it feels like a connection. And that, for me, is what these conventions are all about. Even if you are just wandering past someone, even if you don't necessarily have a chat, even the multitudes of people around the room, it's an awareness that we are all loving the similar things. We all love board games. We're all there to be with each other. We're all there to enjoy these things together. And that's the key thing. I think that humans have this craving, well, most of us do, to be with other people, to have this validation, to have this community. And so, brilliant thing. So how can we keep that going? Which leads me to the topic of today. And as always, feel free to comment, ask questions, thumb, like, follow. So there's a couple of ways that we can keep it going. One is if you manage to pick up a business card, or if you manage to have some details of someone. Oh, hello, Rita. It is lovely to see you, and I wish you the same. I hope that you have a lovely day. I'm just talking about after a convention. What do you do to keep your spirits high? Because it can be really easy to kind of feel a bit, oh, that was brilliant. Now what next? And to feel a little bit down after a convention. So how can we do to keep it high? Rita says sleeping. I totally understand that. And I'm going to say yes. On, when was it? Sunday night, I think we ended up having a relatively early night. It was maybe 10:30. I had a proper 9 hours sleep. And then last night I slept maybe 10 o'clock and I got up at, what time was it today? It was about 7:40. So I had almost 10 hours sleep today. And Drugged Dwarf says, honestly, I would normally love to keep my spirits high, but I'm usually already back at work. It can be soul draining. I get that. Yeah, I understand that you can't do everything that you want. And none of this is, you have to do this. That's the last thing that I want to say. And also, thank you, Drugged Dwarf, for joining in the chat. Lots of love to you, Rita. But yeah, I want to say, I think that if you had people that you got on well with and that you exchanged phone numbers or emails, or you exchange business cards or whatever, or then send a private message and say, hey, it was lovely to meet you, and I hope we can meet up at some point in the future, maybe even set a specific date. I mean, I already sent a message this morning to someone saying, hey, it was really lovely to see you, and if we are both in Manchester, I won't be there as an exhibitor, it would be lovely to play a game together. And having that thing to look forward to, and then they just sent a little love heart back, which again, it's affirmation, it's validation, it's kind of keeping that human connection going. Another thing, for all the claims that social media is terrible, if you limit your amount of time on social media, I think it can be actually very fulfilling and very good at connecting people. So for this one, I went to the Tabletop Scotland chat page. So there's an event page. There's also a Facebook group where people chat, and just chatting about how my day was. Honestly, yesterday, that was a real effort to type up, because I could have, I was tired. I couldn't be arsed, if I'm going to be honest. But since I did that, then a few people kind of clicked like, which makes me feel good. And then someone said, oh, it was lovely to see you. And then we had a bit of back and forth. And again, this is another way you can like express what you enjoyed. Look at other people's posts and maybe leave a bit of a reply. But again, limit what you can, because yes, you might have to get back to work. And also, yes, social media can be addictive. This is, I think, the key thing for me, fostering these connections. But then the other thing you could do is just sort of look over the old videos. Let me actually mute that. So I'm going to share some videos that Jane Garvani, thank you, Jane, took during the Tabletop Scotland, and just uploading these and saying, yeah, that was fun, like that's a lovely thing, having some sort of memento. And it doesn't have to be a physical game that you bought. It could be a photograph or a video or memories. Just taking a bit of time to replay this in your mind and making that space to meditate on these things. Taking that space to reflect. Yeah, that was a really good time. I mean, here everyone did really well, and I know that Robert said he went into the semi-final as a wild card, and yeah, just when they were on the qualifier, they scored a top score, but then they scored 0-0, so weren't able to make it to the final. But it's this kind of thing, the memories of Robert, and I can't remember who's to their left, but then there's Dimitri and Jennifer and Avron and Arya, who were all wonderful. And having this enthusiasm, it reminds me of the good times. Having this video, again, thank you, Jane, for recording the video. It reminds me that there was a good time, and there will hopefully be a similar thing again. This is something that I can do again. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next weekend, but maybe in a few months. Maybe, there will be UK Games Expo next year. There will be Tabletop Scotland next year, and these kinds of things are really valuable. And so that's why I think that, yeah, looking back at all these videos and remembering those memories can be just such a wonderful, lovely thing. The final thing that I really appreciate when I'm kind of maybe on the verge of feeling a bit down is focusing on some small things to look forward to today, and making sure that, or tomorrow, or within the next week, like every Friday, I get to play games. And I won't have like 12 people crowding around and playing a big game, but, there'll be at least, I'm immensely privileged that games are a luxury, and if you're watching this, frankly, you probably get to engage as well, and hopefully you have a regular thing where maybe every so often you get like 3 people together or however many to play games. Like, when is your next games night? Look forward to that. And so I'm going to be doing playtesting on Friday. I'm looking forward to that. And then, can't remember. Oh yeah, on Friday, I've decided that I'm going to enter the Magic the Gathering release event. I'm looking forward to that. And then Saturday, I get to play the new game by Matt Leacock and Matteo Benapace, which is all about climate change. So it's a cooperative thing. I'm, again, like, when I talk about these things, I mean, I hope that you don't, it's not to say, like, sometimes I worry that I'm kind of blowing it all in your face, and then someone might feel bad thinking, oh, but I don't have so much to look forward to. And the truth is that, yeah, I've got a lot to look forward to, but even if you're like, oh, tonight I get to eat this particular dinner, I get to eat, you know, a wee cheese pasty. I don't know what you enjoy eating. Maybe you're like, oh, I get to have a peanut butter sandwich, whatever. Or maybe it's like, okay, I get to walk over to this place, and or maybe I get to go swimming. Something that actually makes you smile, or maybe you smile more when you walk outside. Maybe you might be able to watch a show on TV, anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily games, just something that you can look forward to, if that makes sense. And that's the things. If you have any other tips for how to keep that joy alive, for me, as I say, it's about remembering the good stuff, fostering the connections as you go forwards, and finding new things to look forward to that are completely unrelated. Because Tabletop Scotland was brilliant. Tabletop Scotland is brilliant, but Tabletop Scotland 2022 was brilliant. And I'm sure 2023 will be brilliant as well, but we can't just be living our lives based on, oh, that's the best thing ever. No, there are other good things. Conversations, playing a game with someone else, trying a new strategy in an old favorite game, going for a walk, going for a quick, maybe tea, I don't know, and maybe for a bike ride, maybe a chat with a friend, maybe on the phone or on video, or maybe watching something. And so I think that is basically what I would recommend. So at this point, question of the day, question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. Question of the day. My question to you is, does your house have a chimney? I mean, I'm just gazing out. I'm seeing lots of chimneys. And I'm wondering if your house has a fireplace. Because where I am currently staying, that lots of old-fashioned places, even though those chimneys can't even be used anymore, people still have them. But in all the modern builds, especially in London where I stay, chimneys? What's that all about? So yeah, my question to you is, does your house have a chimney or a fireplace? Like, let me know. I am genuinely curious. And if you're watching live, let me know right now. Otherwise, let me know after the fact. And of course, over to you. What are you up to? You can share a button if you want to. If there's something that you want to share, I promise that I care. Whether it's something that brings a smile to you, something that you need to do, something that you long for, or something that you adore, or something that you think, oh, that's something that's a bit of a bore. Whatever the case, let me know. I am personally going to enjoy time with family for the day, enjoying maybe having a bit of a walk, showing family some of my new games, eating. I'll eat. I don't know what I'll have for lunch. We will go out for dinner. I'm excited about that. But yeah, those are the highlights. Today it's kind of, I am kind of, yeah, not doing much. That's planned, kind of. So yeah, what are you up to? What are you up to today? Do you have anything that you're excited for? And recap and wrap up before we finish up. So to recap and wrap up, after a convention, yeah, Rita's suggestion was really good. Make sure you've got enough sleep. Make sure that on the Sunday night you manage to get to sleep early if you can. But if everyone's going out, try to take the Monday off so that you can sleep if you are able. If you like, sometimes you just need to power through, and I know everyone's situation is different. Yep, have some fun things to do the next day. I managed to play a couple of games, and just going, no, I'm not going. Having some solo games that you can play on your own, so that even if there's no one around, you can just play a solo game. Reaching out to those people whose numbers or emails or whatever or Facebook profiles you swapped with, and maybe messaging on some social media. If you ever tag me, I will. And it's like genuinely a nice thing. I will retweet and to be like, yeah, let's all share some positive things about Tabletop Scotland. I would retweet something like that, and then be part of the conversation. I'll probably retweet this thing. But if you want to check me out, as always, I am Stuff by Bez in all the places. Check out stuffbybez.com/streams if you want to check me out and what I'm up to. Share, spread the word, and thank you very much, everyone. It has been lovely to chat, and bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. And now it's time to go. Bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. And now it's time to go. Bye.